Good morning, doctor. My name is Liu from BC25148. Today, I want to talk about the nutrient change. First, cooking are not flavor, but at what cost? Cooking is a transformative process. It makes food safer, more digestible, and unlock incredible flavor and aromas. However, the very heat that creates this benefit can also degrade the richer nutrient within our ingredients. Every meal we prepare involves a series of trade-offs between taste, safety, and nutrition. Heat is the engine of transformation in the kitchen. We cook several critical reasons, all driven by the application of heat for safety, digestibility, palatability, and preservation. For safety, to destroy the pathogenic bacteria and natural toxins, making the food safe to eat. For digestibility, to break down through structure like cellulose in vegetable and collagen in meat, making nutrients more accessible to our bodies. For palatability, to improve flavor, texture, and appearance, heat trigger chemical reaction that create the complex aroma and taste we crave. For the preservation, to destroy enzymes that cause spoilage, extending the life of food. To understanding the three pathways of heat, every cooking method uses one or more of these three fundamental heat transfer principles to transform food. First is the radiation. It's direct energy wave, heat radiated from a source and is absorbed by the food on the surface. For example, boiling fish or toasting a bread. Second is the convection. The movement of fluid, heat is transferred by the circulation of hot air or liquid. For example, the roasting in an oven or boiling potatoes in water. The third is the conduction. It's the direct contact, heat transfer from the source through the pan directly into the food. For example, searing a steak in a hot pan. The chemistry of deliciousness. When heat is applied, food undergoes profound chemical change that create flavor, color, and texture. First is a Maillard reaction. The most important browning reaction occurs between amino acid and sugar at high temperature, creating hundreds of new aromas and flavor compounds. This is the savory crust on bread and the sear on meat. Second is the caramelization, the melting of sugar itself. When heated, sugar molecule can break down and reform into new compound with rich, nutty, and slightly bitter flavor. The third is the dextrinization, the breakdown of long starch changed into shorter, sweeter tasting track called dextrin, which also contribute to browning of toast bread. The fourth is the protein coagulation. Protein unwind and link together, causing food to become firm and solid. The chef toolkit, a spectrum of cooking method. Cooking method can be broadly categorized by medium used to transfer heat. Each category categorized offer a unique set of outcomes for texture, flavor, and nutrition relations. There is three parts: moist heat, dry heat, and also frying. For the moist heat, is using the water, steam, or stock. For example, boiling, simmering, poaching, steaming, stewing, and braising. For dry heat, is used hot air or radiant heat. For example, roasting, baking, grilling, barbecue. For the frying, is the use of hot fat or oil. For example, sauteing, stir frying, shallow frying, and deep frying. For the moist heat, the gentle art of infusion and loss. Moist heat methods like boiling, simmering, and poaching except creating tender texture and area ideal for the charged cut of meat and fibrous vegetable. The critical trade-off, while gentle, this method immerse food in water. This leads to significant leaching of water-soluble nutrients, particularly vitamin C, and vitamin Bs. For boiling, they can cause the greatest loss of nutrition, but for the steaming, preserve the most nutrient as the food has minimal contact with the water. Evidence from broccolis. A study on broccoli showed the dramatic difference. The boiling lead the most significant loss of vitamin C, soluble protein, and also sugar. Steaming retain level of this nutrient almost on par with raw broccoli. Next is the dry heat method, the double-edged sword of searing and curing. Grilling and barbecue use intense radiant heat to cook food quickly, creating desirable char and flavor. However, this high heat can also produce potentially harmful compounds. The hidden risks have two. First is heterocyclic amanites, HCAs, formed when amino acids in meat react in high temperature, found on the surface of well done of carrot meat, fish, and also poultry. Second one is the polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAH, formed when fat drips onto hot coals and flames. The resulting smoke carries pH up to the surface of the food. Both HCl and pH have been shown to cause of cancerous tumors in animal studies. The key factor is the temperature is critical. An increase of 200 to 250 can triple HCl contents. Taming the flame, a playbook of safer grilling. You can significantly reduce the formation of HCl and pH without sacrificing flavor. We have 5 methods. First is marinade first. Marinade contain lemon juice, herbs, and spice. Can act as a barrier, and their antioxidants compound can inhibit HCl pH formation by up to 70%. Second one is control the heat. Cook at a lower temperature, 107 to 2200 degrees Celsius, and avoid direct contact between flames and food. Third is turn frequently. Turning food often to prevent any one side of becoming overcrowded by building up high concentration of HCS. Fourth is trim the fat. Remove the excess fat from the meat before grilling to reduce the amount that can be dripped and create pH lean smoke. The fifth is avoid the char. Do not serve the blackness of heavily charred portion of food. For the frying, how hot oil creates the perfect crust. Frying is a process cooking food by immerse it in hot oil, which acts as extremely efficient heat transfer medium. The process is the moisture transfer. As food heat on the hot oil, water at the surface instantly vaporizes, creating a strip barriers that push outwards. Second is the crush formation. This rapid water loss dehydrated the surface, creating the characteristic crisp crust. Third is the fat transfer. As water leaves, the small amount of oil are absorbed into the food surface, adding flavor and richness. Fourth, the interior cooking. The heat is conducted from the crust to the center of the food and cook it through. The balance of these forces determines the final texture and realness of the food. The degradation of frying oil. What happens when you reheat? Frying oil insists that it undergo significant chemical change which is influenced by moisture from food, air, and high temperatures.